Salut everyone! In this video, we'll be reacting to the latest video of PewDiePie called I installed Linux, so should you? But should you really install Linux? Let's get into it.
Don't worry, I can save you. Install Linux.
Bro, you don't need to save us. We already are on Linux, broskito. We have been on Linux for like 20 years, dude.
I'm excited. At the time, I didn't know the power that I had. I was like a baby with a rocket launcher. For years!
This is true, dude. The idea of the baby with the rocket launcher is so true, chat. So, let's develop a little bit about that. I think this is a really good image, a really good metaphor, a really good allegory, maybe. I wouldn't put it that far, but it's a really good visualization of Linux as a user, right? You can do everything on your PC. And this is what makes Linux so good. You are really in control. I believe that most of us, I'm talking about me, like, I did switch to Linux because of that. Because I was just tired of having Windows getting control of the PC. And he's gonna say it later in the video, like, babysit me. Like, I think it's also like a good approach. That's the real power of Linux, in my opinion.
I have been tortured by Windows. But now, alas, I am finally free. I escaped the Windows cave. I saw the sun. The shadows are gone. It blinded me for a moment. And now I'm speaking to you in the cave. Enough reference. Okay, so I'm gonna yap about...
So guys, are we still in the cave on this channel? I think if you are watching this video, you're not in the cave anymore. Because we have been praising switching to Linux for the last 3 years. Especially when it comes to gaming. So I hope you're not in this cave anymore, chat.
I want to start off by going through the reasons why I switched to Linux. It's different for everybody. Number one is how backlit this shot is. Number one, Windows talks to me like I'm a baby.
Windows talk to me like I'm a baby. I think he's aligned with that. He's gonna tell me like, oh, do you want to install my little driver? Do you want to make an update? It's gonna go this way, dude.
Now, mentally, I might be, but that does not warrant. You want Candy Crush?
Okay, Candy Crush.
You want Candy Crush on your computer?
Okay, so you know what, guys? You're gonna be laughing at me, but this was Candy Crush. There is two things I hate about Windows. Like it's just it just drives me insane. First thing is obviously Candy Crush and all the other applications they push on you, right? And the one I really hate the most is LinkedIn. Guys, there is like I need to tell you. There is LinkedIn in Microsoft. In all the version of Windows, there is a shortcut that you cannot remove. It's part of Microsoft. This is disgusting, chat. This is disgusting. The fact that it is here is not really important. But the fact that you can't remove it is what drives me insane. Like, I don't get it, chat. It kind of shows you are not in control. Microsoft is in control of what runs on your PC. So it's Control, Shift, Alt, Win plus L. This shortcut open LinkedIn in your default browser. Like, why? I'm not talking from the start menu. I'm talking about this shortcut. Okay. In case you didn't know about that, I just learned that Windows 11 has a shortcut baked in that will open LinkedIn from the desktop. That shortcut, that's what I'm talking about. You can't remove it. You're gonna be like, hey, Max, like, nobody cares about that. I do care about it, dude. Because again, it's about control, right? It's about, do you own your machine or someone else own your machine? Like, when I discovered that, I was like, bro, like, why? Anyways, with Linux, you won't have this type of issue.
You wanna use Bing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Are you sure you wanna delete that file? Are you super duper sure you wanna delete that file? That's how it talks to me, and I don't like it! Linux, on the other hand, literally puts a gun in your hand and says, do it.
Okay, that's what I like, chat. You see this is what I like. Because you are a god, and it means what it means, right? You can do everything. And being a god comes with responsibility. But we'll talk about that later. Let's continue the video.
Wait a minute, it does exactly what I want it to do.
Yes! He does exactly what I wanted to do. Exactly. This is what we want.
BS.
Yeah, that's a pain. That's a real pain.
I know you paid $100 or whatever for me, but I'm still gonna put ads in here.
Yeah.
Just put a little AI in here. You want that, right? That doesn't benefit me.
But like, I think this is the world we are living in now. I think indirectly, like when we pay for a service and you expect it to be ads-free, this does not exist anymore. Think about Netflix. You pay, and now I think they have an option for the ads. I'm talking about Prime too. Like I was surprised. Like I'm a Prime member with Amazon because we buy a lot of stuff on Prime for the kids. We have this Prime TV stuff. Well, if you want a show now, if you watch a show, you have ads in the show. This is the world we are living in. So now you buy for a license of Windows, and guess what? You have the ads in it, but like it's becoming so unbearable. It is becoming disgusting. And so I feel him about the fact that you need to clean your Windows when you install it. But the reality is that Windows is going to unclean himself on the long run. And it's going to be the game of the cat and the mouse who are trying to get each other, right? Right now, the operating system, I'm talking about Microsoft, it's not in a good space. Okay, it has never has been, but we are reaching a point which is just disgusting in my opinion.
With Linux, nothing. Serenity. Peace.
So, nothing, serenity, peace. Yeah, on the ads, you won't have problem with the ads. For the serenity part, it can be complicated sometimes.
Don't even get me started on the Windows taskbar. You control what's on your computer.
Yeah.
Duh, it's obvious. How is this not a thing? Reason number 3, customization. I discovered this afterwards. Customizing on Linux is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, okay, so this, I think it's gonna get into it, right? It's gonna get into this rabbit hole where you make your computer exactly as you want. And yeah, that's a good rabbit hole to fall on. But I think it's, even he said he's non-technical, but I believe like most of the non-technical users, they won't fall in this rabbit hole. They are just going to install the distro which looks the best out of the box rather than going deep into customization. So I already watched the video, guys, but I know where he's going. But like, yeah, it's gonna be a tough one there. A tough sell, in my opinion.
On Windows, you can maybe change your wallpaper, change a little bit of colors, whoopity-doo. On Linux, you can change reality itself. Since Linux is built modular, you can swap out your GUI entirely. You don't even have to use one. You can cut off the head of Linux and it'll still be like, hey, I'm here, what's up? Customizing on Linux is called rising, and I got way too into it.
Okay, so at least he's admitting it, right? He's saying like he went way too deep into it. Yeah, Fezzy. He went super deep into rising. Yeah.
I cooked hard. I can't wait to show you guys.
But you see, this he doesn't mention it. Okay, I think this reason number 3 about rising, it's not only one reason. It's 2 reasons. I think the rising approach into Linux is not only about rising. Obviously it is, because you do it for yourself. But I notice a lot of people who are like riser or who like to rise their stuff, they actually love to share. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but have you ever met, I'm guilty of it. It's like when I write something, I'm like, hey guys, look at my desktop. And I'm like, yeah. Like, this is the second part in rising. There is I would say like the love of doing it for yourself, but there is the second part where you love to share it with everybody else. And I think this one is actually big because it's gonna do it. It's gonna do it. Look at his face. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna share it. Like, you love to show kind of like what you are able to do. And this is a big part of Linux because you have I could make the parallel with Arch, right? Arch, by the way, the meme, become Arch, by the way, because the original one was I use Arch, by the way. And if you go deeper into it, installing Arch was really hard. And so by saying I use Arch, by the way, you are saying to everybody else, you are able to install it yourself. You are able to maintain it yourself. You are able to rising it yourself. So it kind of like puts you in this space where you are like, you have this type of like accomplishment feeling you want to share with everyone. So it's the same with rising here. And I think it's a big part of Linux. He doesn't mention it, but I will be my post-analyze of his video, not the psychological analyze, but I noticed that a lot because obviously I've done it, but through all the community I've been through, all the interaction I had with a Linux user, it's huge. His video is going to be all about what he has done, which is pretty interesting, dude. It's super interesting.
Now, reason number 4, Gaming. Gaming on Linux is finally real. I actually
Gaming! Dude! He's saying that finally Linux is ready for gaming. So let's see what he has to say about that.
installed Linux 15 years ago. That's right, I'm old. And I uninstalled it after like a couple days, as a lot of people do, when they realize, oh, I can't use the things I need on Linux. And for me, that was gaming back then, because it's like, well, then what's the point? But now, gaming on Linux is real.
So let's see how PewDiePie like think about gaming. Like you can see, he seems pretty happy right now. He has his own crowd there.
So Valve came in like Gandalf's in Helm's Deep, riding a Steam Deck with Proton. So I think this is a perfect example how...
Did he say Proton or Broton? Bro, like listen, Broton would have been awesome too as a name. Broton.
Linux benefits everyone. So thank you, Linux, and thank you, Base Gaben. Now I've gone through the reasons why I switched.
Like I like the idea of idolization of Valve, because even if I'm a big fan of Valve, we still need to be critical toward Valve, because we cannot be critical of a company A versus a company B just because one gives us a little bit more than the other one. We still need to be critical of all of them.
To Linux, let me just explain why maybe not switching is a good idea. Because everything good comes with a sacrifice.
Okay, man. Okay.
If you're swapping to Linux, you'll likely have to give something up. I don't know what that is, but for me, it was Photoshop. I used...
Oh, you had to give up Photoshop.
Photoshop, again, for 15 years. All the shortcuts, all my workflow, it's all baked into my brain. The way I use Photoshop, I don't think about it. It's just, here's the thumbnail.
I have to say that Photoshop is a great tool. Like, or was, I don't know if you want to word it this way, but compared to the alternative we have, I use GIMP personally, so I don't miss Photoshop, but I have to say Photoshop is easier to take in hand. There is less work to be done when you want to create something. When you think about Photoshop, I have to say like it's a great tool. Companies that develop it and the way they, you know, sell it.
It's not beautiful, but I get the job done. Unfortunately, Adobe is a garbage company, and their software just won't run on Linux. A lot of artists are jumping ship. They don't want to use Adobe anymore because they realize it's a terrible company. Me as well, I thought...
Yeah, exactly. So the product will be okay, but the company is trash. So the way they, you know, market themselves, it's just atrocious.
They hit me with an unsubscription fee.
Get wrecked. Unsubscription fee. Thank you very much, Adobe. You guys are the best.
Yes.
That's so bad, dude. This is so bad.
Oh, I'm sorry, what? I have to pay to not use your software?
That sucks. And you have to think it this way, dude. Let's say you have all your work you have been doing for 10 years in Photoshop format, right? The day you unsubscribe and you pay this fee, it means like all those files are kind of like useless. So I know there is software that can open Photoshop file, but it's never the same, dude. It's never the same. So yeah, it's kind of rough.
It was like $65 or something. It's insane. What the f?
That's rough.
If anything, it just made me realize, okay, it's over. I'm never going back.
So Photoshop is a great tool, but GIMP is actually an awesome tool, chat. GIMP is actually super, super powerful. I think the only issue, it's exactly like the same that when you move from Windows to Linux, you need to relearn things. And because I think Photoshop, like the UI, is a little bit more natural versus GIMP. GIMP, you have to think a little bit out of the box. But when you understand like the way of thinking of GIMP, you can do crazy stuff. Like I didn't touch Photoshop again for like 15 years now. And my thumbnails are not the best, but they are not the worst, dude. I'm pretty sure someone with Photoshop could do worse than what I'm doing with GIMP, no problem. Isn't Photo GIMP still a thing then? Yeah, there is still also like this GitHub repo where you can literally transform GIMP into photo GIMP. But I wouldn't recommend that. I think the day you cut with whatever you were doing before, you need to start fresh. So it's the same like when you quit smoking. You're smoking, you have all those bad habits, you want to move to something else. You need a fresh cut. You can't be like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna buy like those, cigarettes in chocolate to compensate. No, you cut, you move on. Because otherwise you will never cut. Just start fresh. It's gonna be a harder start, but then you're gonna feel way more comfortable. You won't make the link anymore.
I'm just praying that Adobe is not just gonna show up one day and be like, there's another fee.
Another fee.
I'll meet them in a dark alleyway. They'll be like, it's a little fee. Now that I've convinced you to swap to Linux, you have the wonderful choice of picking a distro.
Oh no, chat. You have to pick a distro. How are you gonna do? Well, for that, I got a great video for this. Air Max on YouTube. Yes. That's how you do it. This is how you pick a distro, dude.
Oh, yay, so many of them. I hear people going like, I don't know which one to pick. What do I do? There's so many. Just pick one. It's a wonderful thing that you can choose. Don't you understand? The world is your flavor. Look at all these spices.
The world is your flavor. Just don't leak every random light post. So true, man. So true.
Don't you understand? The world is your flavor. Look at all these spices.
Yeah.
I went with mint because it's the same one that I installed 15 years ago. And
yeah, and it's also the one I'm actually saying that you should install, chat. I'm not even kidding. If you are coming from Windows, you should install Mint. And if you feel like you're a little bit behind because of your hardware, because of feature you want to have, then you switch from Mint to something else. I like the way Mint is going to transition you into the world of Linux. It's kind of like a smooth way of being transitioned. If you go to something else, you might transition, but if you made a mistake, you're going to get slapped in the face. Where Mint is all smooth. It's going to be, oh, you made a little mistake. You know? If you go on Gentoo, it's going to be like, compile! You know what I mean? Read the wiki! You maybe don't want that. I know some of you guys in chat love that. But I understand some users are going to be like, no, I want something smooth. And he went for Mint, which is great. He does exactly what I do, but better. Better, dude. Linux Mint for 72 days. But you can see he customized everything. Like, this is not the cinnamon you are supposed to use. Look at his terminal, chat. It is impressive, chat. Like, after 72 days of Linux, being able to do that, he's saying he's not techie. I'm telling you, he's techie, chat. It's not for everyone. Right? I'm telling you. I don't know if he's doing a humble brag here. But this is not for everyone, chat. He did a custom neofetch and ZSH with my ZSH, also theming using Ventum probably. He does even more stuff later. Yeah, you can tell right away, dude. But like just the technical aspect, not the writing. Like the technical aspect there, to run his card on Mint, it's not easy, chat. It's a lot of work. So I'm just saying. To me, it's more like a humble brag. Bro, look at this theming. Look at this, dude. Listen to me, he has been cooking. He has been cooking like crazy, chat. I think he's showing us what he likes, right? He's like, but you can tell right away he went like, I will use this password, balls deep, into some techie stuff, which 99.9% of people are gonna be like, what is this? That's what I'm trying to explain. The reception of his video is really good, though. He seemed to have sold it well. I think he sold it well to the user of, like for this part, okay? I'm just saying this part. I think the rest is awesome. But this part is going to be more like for the techie, right? Like people who already know how it works. This is not a negative point. I think this video is really positive. I think it's overall like it's a win. But it kind of shows like the difficulty with Linux in general. Because it's like, where do you put the trigger? Do you want to stay really high level to let people bring into Linux, or you want to satisfy the existing like Linux user base and you want to go deeper? And I think from a content creator standpoint, it's really hard to positionate yourself there. Because it's really easy to switch from like, you know, oh yeah, Linux Mint is great. And then you switch to, let's compile our kernel and remove the module you don't use. You know? It's like, do I need to do that? You know what I mean? Or, oh, I'm going to show you how to find a file. Open a terminal and you're going to do a grep. And be like, what? So I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. But like, some viewers are going to be still, it's too complicated. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to explain. I'm not judging his approach toward Linux. This is not what I'm doing. I'm just saying overall, like, in the grand scheme of things, if we want Linux to have more users, the way we're going to have to, like, in between quotes, like, sell it is going to be really hard. Because you can go from a simple presentation to something really hyper technical in less than, like here, like 2 minutes within the video. And this is a tough one.
Every single letter I'm soaking in with my brain. There's so much you can...
Yeah, and this is the hacker part. When you want to show to the rest of the world you can do it. You are the hacker, you are the guy.
You can do with the terminal. It's insanely powerful. I can make a whole video about it, but I don't want to keep this too long-winded. And in reality, I just want to show you my rise on my laptop, to be honest. That's the whole reason I'm making this video.
Okay, he said it, chat. It's all about the rising, dude.
I had this old laptop. I mean, it's not that old.
Okay,
but
now
I
we're gonna go
never
into the
used
rise.
it because I didn't really like using it. This is
Okay.
so sick to me because I'm remembering what this laptop used to be running Windows. I never wanted to use it. I hated it. Now it went from a hardware that I never used to my favorite piece of hardware because it not just looks great, it runs great.
This is a good argument. Finally, we got to the argument where you realize that when you remove Windows, your old hardware, which was like trash on Windows, become a banger. I'm gonna say it, a banger on Linux. And this is important. So it won't be a banger in every case scenario, and this is what we need to talk about. I hope it's gonna cover that, but it's a banger for most of the task. Let's word it this way.
Love it. It's so sick. I had so much fun customizing this. It was just a blast. Yeah, I hope you guys appreciate it as well. I've been doing so much more. I built this camera as well. Like I mentioned,
Okay, dude. Okay, and we continue the flex. Okay, broski. But you see, I think it's cool. He showed us what he was able to achieve. Again, like I don't know this gentleman. Like obviously, like he can brag as much as he wants. He has like 110 million subscribers. But I see it as a humble brag, right? That's how I see it now. And I can tell he fell into the depth of the rising, which is awesome. Like he's having tons of fun. This is really good. There is some point, like the fact that he transformed his hardware, which was like not fun for him, not usable, like not nice to use, to something he loved to use. I think this is so important, right? Like all the Linux users, when we move from Windows to Linux, this is how you feel. Like you don't need to rise it that much. You just do a basic stuff. You're gonna be in love because you made it, because it looks exactly as you want. In terms of workflow, me what I would add is like you have the visual aspect, but you have also the workflow aspect. When I edit my video on Linux, I know I'm like 25 times faster than on Windows. Because the way I can move between my different desktop, my different like everything, I can go so fast. On Windows, you can't do it that fast. It's impossible to customize it in a way that, you know, you would customize like Linux. So to give you an example, like I don't know if we have like StarCraft 2 user in the chat. For me, it will be like moving from StarCraft vanilla, you know, when you don't touch any of your shortcut on your keyboard and you do everything at the mouse, you know, you'll be like, oh, I selection this guy, right click on the map, go selection, you know, like do everything by hand, like that old school, and then moving to the actual next step. And the next step would be do all your shortcut by yourself. And then go like old school, like all the keyboard shortcut, everything, and go way faster. This is the type of like switch you will do from one to another.
I mentioned earlier, you can communicate with Linux even without a graphical user interface, GUI.
Or wait until you discover SSH. Because you're thinking about the OMLAD. If you go down the rabbit hole about what Linux has been built for, which is like server, all this stuff. This is, in my opinion, like, this is what makes me fall in love with Linux. Because the desktop at the time was great, but it was really far away from what Windows was doing. Now time has changed. But if you look at what is under the hood of Linux, this is where you can really get lost. You think this was crazy? Don't go into like the, like I would say like server side of Linux. This is where it starts to be like insane. We are talking about OMLAD, but you have to think about all the other application, right? Like what he's gonna mention there.
That made me so excited because I'm like, wait, that means I can use other computers at my disposal.
Yes.
For some reason, to me, that's just like really cool, and I wanted to try what I could do with it. I want to show this in another video maybe because I feel like it's too much yapping. But my point is, I've been having so much fun, just tinkering, messing around, feeling like a hacker. But I gotta be real as well. Linux is not perfect. There's a lot of issues.
A lot of users I know switching to Linux because of Unix Spawn and Hyperland awesome setup, thinking it's easy as a click of a button. Yeah. Man. This is what I was trying to explain. It's like, yeah, you want to show what you have done, but you need to reduce the expectation because disappointment is also a pain. Right? You don't want to disappoint people.
Which is why I need you to install Linux, so the more people we can get together, the better Linux becomes. And I get it now. Like, that's why people were so excited about me using Linux. Because Linux is not a product, it's a platform.
Yes. This is what we should remember from this video, chat.
And it also already exists everywhere. NASA, SpaceX, it runs on Linux.
Well, your refrigerator, your phone, all the server, internet is run by Linux, chat. Like come on.
All the supercomputers.
Why did you choose this image, dude?
Your TV, your smart fridge,
everything
your
is
phone,
running Linux.
It's Android, it's all Linux, babe.
Exactly. So the server here, Android, Google Chrome OS, yes, SteamOS, Docker. Wait, it's all Linux? Always been. Yes. Disappointed, they go back to Windows. Yeah. And you have an example here in chat, and it's fine. You see, Intuitive Player, he got disappointed because his NVIDIA driver and his overall like gaming experience was worse than Linux. And right now, it's a price to pay. And it's funny because 2 years ago, when I started the channel, there were not a lot of DirectX 12 game, obviously. And you didn't have to pay this price. You will lose like 2-3% of performance as DirectX 11 and prior DirectX. And everything was fine. And now we are in 2025. We have Wayland. We have an awesome experience with NVIDIA on Linux. But guess what? DirectX 12 sucks. And I do understand why they will just go back to Windows. Because they want to have a better experience while they are gaming, and it's fine. I think here, expectation is really important. Like, we need to tell the truth. Like me, what drives me insane is the fact that there is all those videos like, oh yeah, this is great, and blah, blah, blah. No, like this is not great. You're gonna have to make concession. But the real question you should ask yourself is, what do I lose and what do I gain moving from one platform to another? And find the platform you like. Me personally, I still have Windows installed. I never use it, but I have it installed just in case one of my buddy want to play Apex Legends. Bam, I boot it, I'm there. There is a game which has been released with DirectX 12 game, Unreal Engine 5, and it's trash on Linux. I lose like 25% of performance. Well, boom, switch to Windows, play the game, I'm good. But at least I don't have to spend all the rest of the time on freaking Windows because it sucks. This is where I think we should be at, dude. You know, you should use it as a tool. You should be like, there is a screw to unscrew, but you love your lawnmower. Are you going to use your lawnmower to remove the screw? No, you're going to get your screwdriver, and it's exactly the same thing, right? It's exactly the same thing, in my opinion. It's like, it's not because you love your barbecue that you're going to use your barbecue to freaking cut your grass. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing here. Now, could one day have a barbecue that also cuts your grass? Would be freaking awesome. But like right now, Linux on certain like game and certain case scenario, it's not there. And I think this is where we need to be aligned, right? this is what should come out of this video. It's like, look how cool it could be. Look what you can do. You're gonna lose maybe more times than running Windows. You're gonna have problem with the driver. It's fine. But then when it's set up, you're gonna enjoy it. And it's the same here. If there is thing you can't do, well, just have a second SSD and have Windows minimalistic with like 3 games and you're good to go. That's the way I see it. I know, like personally, I won't be judging any of us because you are dual booting. You don't need to be, an extremist Linux user. Oh yeah, it's Linux or nothing. No, like come on. I hardly disagree with that. What you need to think too is that DirectX 12 issue has been notified by the NVIDIA dev team. It's going to be fixed. I know it's going to be fixed. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's going to be fixed. So what are we going to do? Are you going to be, bitching about it for the next 6 months? Or are you just going to do what I've done, for example, just keep Windows on the side? But keep telling NVIDIA like they need to do their job, right? Because we bought the card, we expect it to run on Linux. That's all. I think we are really like near what it should be. I that's what I believe. I think we are really where we should be with Linux, but we are not. So now what are we going to do about it? This is a real question. Why does Linux feel so addicting and fun to use? Because you're in control. What you mentioned at the beginning is so important. Like you are in control. You are the god. You finally have the feeling like you are the one doing what you want on your machine. And it's a feeling nobody has anymore because of Microsoft.
So please consider joining in. Now, if you're even just a little bit curious, I recommend trying Linux. Maybe try dual booting it if you're not sure. You can still keep your Windows or whatever. You're gonna kill it later. You might as well kill it now.
Yeah, that's what would be my recommendation too. I think he's right on that.
Test it out. Break it. Get upset. On Linux, I feel alive at last. At long last. Thank you for watching. Let me just type out my goodbyes.
It's not goodbye at this point. It's farewell.
No.
Good job. Yeah, video was great. I think video was actually great overall. And he has like 4.3 million views, dude. 4.3 million views. Like he did like 3 times. No, maybe not. Like 2.5 times the amount of view in one video compared to the amount of view I made since I started the Linux stuff. In one video, dude. This is insane. He has more subscribers than there is people living in both countries I've lived in, like in France and Canada, on his channel. Like, think how crazy it is, dude. Think how crazy it is. I really hope that this video is gonna increase the curiosity of users. I think the only drawback I would say is, again, like is the relation between expectation and what you get. I think a lot of users, they are not just ready to switch like he did, and he pushed it so far. And kudos to him, right? Pretty nice, huh, chat? Pretty nice video. Anyways, so I just hope like people that won't be disappointed. You rather shock than disappoint.